just literally got back to my room, so I didn't see the end of the fourth game. I mean, I saw that Magnus lost, but
Hammer,
um
let's look at game for one more time as it was so spectacular.
It was a French defense. The players castled to opposite sides of the board. Magnus opened up for his rooks along the B file, but then Nepo started getting his rook pointed down against Magnus's king as well. Magnus tried to sacrifice his bishop to lure the queen away from the defense around his own king. Nepo said, yes, thank you to that bishop. Magnus is in there with all the attacking pieces, but Nepo finds the only winning move, knight to e3, to tie up the match.
wow. That's crazy actually. That's wild. That's actually insane. It's nuts. Nothing else to say. That's actually, I mean, I think more to me what I'm surprised by about it is that the number of times I feel like in Rapid or Blitz where I want to say myself, Fabiano, and others have needed a win against Magnus with Black, and we don't even sniff a shot at winning the game, let alone winning is kind of wild. So it's very impressive from Nepo to have won this game on demand here. Very, very impressive.
I mean, Nepo winning 2 games on demand after Magnus had gone on an incredible 7 game win streak. Do you
Mhm.
think, from a psychological standpoint, he's the favorite now?
Well, it's not seven, right? It would be six, right? He won two or three and then one, right? To start this match? Or do I have the match wrong?
No, he
Oh,
won two against Nepo.
Oh, wait, he was up 2-0.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh. I saw it was 2-1 because I was out and I didn't realize I assumed it was like 1-0 and then it was like a couple of draws. Oh.
It was not.
Oh. Oh, that's wow, okay. That's kind of wild actually. Yeah, because I saw it was 2-1. I just figured it's like 1-0 and then they had like two draws and then Nepo won this last game. Wow.
I
That's
honestly thought
wild.
you were gonna see it was 2-0 and like, oh, there's no point going back now. This is gonna just be over in a few minutes.
Well, I'm glad I didn't see it was 2-0 because if I'd seen it was 2-0, I probably would have rushed to get back sooner. So I mean it's a good thing I didn't see it was 2-0. But yeah, I mean it's that's amazing. I mean Nepo of course won on demand against Wesley too, right? In the final game.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
no,
it's
maybe in the third game.
oh okay, maybe I've got the order wrong. But still, yeah, it's crazy that Magnus has lost 2 games in a row here at the end. Against Nepo. So I mean now it's basically sudden death, right? It's
Yeah.
like whoever wins first wins. Yeah, I mean I guess it's yeah, I'm just kind of floored that Magnus would lose two in a row. Really, really shocked by that. You don't expect to see it, but yeah, I mean it speaks to sort of the mental fortitude of Nepo, that he's been able to come back and win 2 games in a row. So yeah, it's anybody's ball game now.
And Nepo will be playing with white. Do you think he feels like, okay, this is the time to
They
strike while
started.
the iron is hot?
Okay, here we go. So we're gonna get a Sicilian, right?
We
Okay,
do.
pretty normal.
This is the same opening they had earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Magnus sacrificed his two rooks for a queen. So far,
Mm-hmm.
they're just following the same moves that was played.
They were played. Okay. All right. Looks pretty normal. I mean, I'm a little surprised by this opening choice from Magnus,
Uh,
I'm not gonna lie.
what is going on? Neither one of them has checked the previous game with an engine, and they're just
Well,
following along with all the moves, including the mistakes they made.
let's be serious for a second. Of course they've looked with an engine. I mean,
You
they have
think?
breaks between the games. Oh, 100%. 100%.
But then why
100%.
is Nepo going into a position where the engine favors black?
I mean, you guys tell me if I'm wrong because I was out, but there are breaks between the games, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But they
there's
are
been
very
quite a
short
long
now.
break.
In the final, they have only been like 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, considering it's a final, I'm sure they have someone on their team who's there and saying something to them. I would think. I'd be very surprised if that's not the case. But yeah, so this looks what pretty normal. I mean, the players are blitzing out the moves. I mean, I assume you go H3 takes, knight f4 D4, and probably it's equal, I'm guessing.
I
Yeah, I mean
like
probably
black. I like black quite a lot.
I
The
mean,
rook coming in.
if you go D4, I mean, okay, maybe it's a little bit easier for black to play, but the fact that
He didn't go
both
d4.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to whether Magus can generate an attack on the king side before white can do something on the queen side, is what it feels like to me. Like, if black could get g5, h5, g4, black could very easily be winning this game. If you're not getting that in, on the other hand, you have to be tricky, because I just realized there's also an idea of g3 potentially for white, where if you go knight e6, there's queen takes e5. I mean, g3 runs into knight e2, so it's not that big of a deal. But it's this game, I feel like it hinges around, can Magnus push his p on the king side, or will white be able to do something in the center of the board?
What
Center
do
or
you think
queen
about
side?
this rook? I thought this rook is poorly placed.
It's funny that he plays b6, because now aren't you just helping white activate the rook with rook a6?
Yeah, I take back everything I said.
I don't understand b6 at all, because you literally just open the file for the tower. I'm actually confused. I don't like what Magnus is doing here. I mean, I think he's still completely fine. I don't think it's like he's going to lose or anything. I mean, I think it's well within the margins, but I'm a little bit surprised.
Do you think he might just be rattled from losing 2 in a row?
Oh, he might be. Also, rook a2 is a very sneaky move. Nepo wants to go g3 because now there's no knight e2 because the rook covers the e2 square from a2.
Oh.
Very sneaky move from Nepo. I mean, Magnus could be rattled. I mean, honestly, like I was thinking though, has Magnus ever lost 3 games in a row, like in like any kind of like match format ever? I don't think he has.
We were earlier
Um,
talking about the Fisher Random final between Magnus and Wesley, where he lost 12 and 13 and a half, 2.5 or something insane. So probably there, but that might be the only time.
I mean, yeah, that's obviously a little bit different because
Oh.
unfortunately, when you tilt and Fisher random, you try to play quickly, you can't really get away with it, as I've learned quite a bit. But I mean, this position looks okay, but I'm gonna be honest, like this, I'd much rather be Nepo here. Nepo's up a minute and a half on the clock here.
Nepo's
It's
threatening a pawn, and both of the top moves by the engine is not to protect the pawn.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because white's gonna get some. If you go rook e8, there's gonna be g3 knight h5 and then d4. I think g3 knight h5 and then d4, and I think white's better now.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's a very tricky position here for Magnus. I would not want this position, all things. Wait,
Magnus is down a minute and 40 seconds.
wait. This is getting very. I was wondering he couldn't play knight d4. Oh, that's amazing. Knight d4 takes. Queen b2, d e3, queen f6, ed2, queen d8, king g7. I think black's okay, right? Oh no, there's queen
Engine
d4
says
check.
winning.
No, wait. So why was black okay there? Go back, just very quickly. Queen a1.
Queen d6, pointing at the king.
Rook g3, knight h. I forgot about knight h5. Okay, that's why. Okay, anyway, let's get back to the game.
Double exclam from Magnus.
Nice
That
move.
seems generous. Wait, what? There's still the pin.
Was there not f4 here?
You can chase the knight away.
No, wait, if you go f4...
F4, queen e6, engine says. Then you're threatening in against the king, and you're now threatening the rook because you got the queen off the diagonal.
Right, correct. Ooh, this is very tricky.
Jan has to find h4 according to the computer, which does not look like an easy move to find.
No, I mean, the good thing for Jan here, though, is that he has the extra time. That's the one really important thing, is that he has two minutes on the clock here. So I don't think it's implausible. I think he's actually going to find it because of the time situation. If he were lower on the clock here, like he had 20 seconds, I think he would miss it. But with 140, I think there's a good chance he will find h4.
I'm so confused by what the chess engine is saying. It's recommending queen e5, but then you lose you cannot take the rook. This is the main recommendation of the chess engine right now.
And it's a draw with queen a8, it's a draw with queen a8 or something. Yeah, I mean, this is not going to happen.
This is never happening.
I mean, I expect queen e6, hg5 takes, and Magnus will probably be able to draw this. Yeah, he goes queen e6 as expected, takes. White's up a pawn, but I mean, you have a pretty crummy pawn structure here. Queen f6, rook d3 is simply fine for black.
That's a very important line.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I mean, I think we're gonna get queen e5, rook d3, and we're gonna get a draw. By the way, I think we'll get queen e5, rook d3, check, king g7, check, and we'll get a draw. That's my prediction.
Who do you have to win this match now, knowing what we know about how the first 4 games went?
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to judge. I mean, I want to say, wait, what? What is that? Or he's just gonna take on D3 and make the draw, I guess.
Ooh, queen c8 was the only saving move.
Okay, so I guess Nepo thinks he's still. Oh, because rook e3, you have rook d. So Nepo's actually saying, you know what? It's at worst a draw. So I can play on here and go for more. Queen d8 is an excellent move, I think. Is there rook a7 though? Wait, is there rook a7 and queen f6, gf6? Maybe there's rook a7. Maybe not so easy. Okay, Magnus still is 25 seconds though.
Rook d7 only drawing idea. That seems tricky to me.
He should find it. He's got enough time. He
10
does
seconds.
find it.
He
Yeah.
does find it.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for Magnus, even though he's low on time, he doesn't have that many pieces on the board or that many options. Like if you don't go rook d7, the only other moves are queen f8 or queen e8, and both of them run into e6, and you just resign the game instantly. So it's not too shocking that he found it.
No,
because e6 you take the queen, and then takes rook a7, e7, rook a8, and you win the game.
Yeah,
and the match.
this is what I was thinking.
Yeah, so this is still gonna be a draw, I think. The only thing you have to be careful of if you're white is to not trade the queens. I mean, it's still a draw, but six here, yeah. Okay, this will be an easy draw then. If you go rook c6, rook e3, rook b6, rook e5, you could end up losing that. Yeah, now it's just going to be a dead draw.
Wow.
Okay.
What a game.
Yeah, okay. Another boring draw. Probably a draw was offered after rook e4, I bet. So, yeah. Not shocking.
We're
gonna get another one.
Mm-hmm.
We will get another one. Oh, the women's game actually also ended in a draw already. So Hikaru, back to my question, huh?
Go ahead. Yes, your question
about about who you have as a favorite now.
I mean, obviously the player with the white pieces has a slight advantage, but I think really it's a coin flip. I mean, generally what I would say is that when you start off very well, like you're 2-0 and you lose a couple of games, it's very, very hard to recover from that generally, because from a psychological standpoint, the match is over. Like you have it won. And so, I mean, probably psychologically that you have to believe the momentum is on Nepo's side in general, even after the last game. But you know, it is Magnus, and he does have an ability to turn it on when he has to. I mean, I think the game earlier against Hans, like, I mean, that was 2 minutes versus 20 seconds. I mean, that was unbelievably good from him. I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize just how incredibly good it was. I'm not sure anyone else in that situation would have been able to survive there, let alone win the game. So Magnus has a way of sort of pulling rabbits out of his hat. But I think it's probably 50-50 here. Probably very, very 50-50-ish.
Do you think so? I by saying it's 50-50, which I think I disagree on at this point, because I think this was a very important one for Magnus to get with the black pieces. And do you think Nepo's best strategy is going for broke with the black pieces, or do you think he just needs to try and stay calm and go for a white?
I mean, I honestly I haven't seen the game. So what did he lose in the first one? I guess so. Let me take a look and see what the opening was. So the first one was Nepo played a Sicilian.
It was right, the same opening we saw.
No, but it was must win. It was a must win game, so that's why he played Sicilian, not the Petrov. That's what I forgot that. Okay, and then in the or wait, no, sorry. Game 3 Magnus was wait. I'm trying to figure out. So game 1 Magnus had the white pieces. Or no, Magnus.
No, game 1 Jan had the white pieces and lost.
Right. Oh, so game 2 was an Alpen. Okay, so he played so it was an Alpen in game 2. So he played Sicilian. That's interesting. And then game 4 was must win, so he played the French. And Magnus did not trade on d5. Didn't play the exchange. Very surprising, but yeah, I mean, I think if you're Jan here, you're just going to probably play the Petrov and try to be solid, is my best guess. That's what I expect here, but, you know, it's who knows.
Welcome back, everyone. Our apologies about that. The new game is well on the way. Hikaru, you were liking Magnus's position. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good position. It's a position where only white can try to play and win. I mean, this has been Magnus's MO, his bread and butter for the better part of the last decade, just squeezing these very slight advantages. So I think he's doing quite well. I'm actually a little bit surprised at how much better the computer thinks White's position is here, because to me, this looks, honestly, as a human, this looks a lot closer to equal than a big White edge. But I guess if White can get this bishop to f3, it could get very, very scary in a hurry. So this, but the time situation also very concerning. Jan down a minute on the clock here, so it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Oh wait, is there knight d3 here? Knight d3, rook c8, king g7. Actually, if Jan finds knight d3 here, I think he's okay. Plays queen d8, which actually, by the way, is an excellent move here. Excellent move, considering the time situation. A brilliant move playing queen d8. See what Magnus does here. I feel like this is starting to slip away from him a little bit. I mean, he's still got a big time advantage, but I'm not loving it. I'm honestly not loving it. I think there's a very decent chance it's going to be a draw. Very decent chance here. Unless Magnus finds a way to complicate it right now. I think we're going for a 7th game.
I have to say, I've been hugely impressed with Jan. He is a player who, it's been known that, you know, psychology wasn't his strength. He collapsed famously in that match against Magnus, but here he's really holding his own. And I feel like every draw will frustrate Magnus a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably a critical moment here, because if rook d2 is played, I think the game ends instantly in a draw. If he goes knight f6, bishop f3, White starts to get a little bit of a pull again. So his time usage is good so long as he finds rook d2. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm really, really impressed with the way that he's playing here. I mean, he's showing tremendous resolve. I mean, normally we think of Jan as a guy who just collapses, and from 2-0 down to win two in a row. This game, by the way, has found some excellent moves. Queen d8 was very, very good. Rook d2 even better, in my opinion, because both these moves he's played when he's under serious, serious pressure on the clock. So this is like really impressive. I'm actually like, I can see why Magnus has not put this match away, because the way Jan is playing is just really, really, really good right now. And I think this is going to be a draw, by the way. Unless Magnus plays queen b7, yeah, but now we're going to get, like, I don't know, rook a2, for example. No, it's going to be a draw. Like rook a2, rook c3, queen d5 even. It's, yeah. This should be a draw. Mind you, of course, we've said this many times about Magnus, that a game he plays is going to be a draw, and then it turns out that he finds a way to win. But I don't really see it, because even if he goes rook c3, there's maybe even just king g7 followed by queen f6, and there's no real imbalance here. So unless Magnus goes queen b7 here, this will be a draw, I think, without even much fight from either player.
And why do you think queen b7 is not a draw?
Well, I think it is a draw, but it creates an imbalance here. But the thing is, Magnus is now down on time too, so he's not. Oh, I didn't think he was going to go for it. He does it.
No, I was just analyzing. Oh, he did go for it.
Oh, but there's queen f6 now? Oh, well, okay. We got to draw anyway. Queen f3, and I mean, okay. Yeah. I thought it was going to be heating up with rook f2, but just queen f6 was good enough to kill it. So, yeah, that was not yeah, we got another draw.
We get another draw. We get another game as well. Let's go to the women's tournament. They are playing the same sudden death, but Juvan Jun is very close to the title there.
4 seconds remaining for her opponent, and Juvan Jun is up by a pawn.
I mean, come on, pass pawn, double A battery in the center of the board, g3. I mean, okay, d6 also good enough. G3 maybe, d7. All roads lead to Beijing here. So either actually, I guess her opponent is Chinese as well, so it's not really applicable. But anyway, whatever. Okay, knight f4, desperado. Probably just bishop a5 looks good enough to me. Knight h3, king up, bishop a probably also good enough. Queen f3. Yeah, this is over. Yeah, bishop a5, queen d5, everything wins. Yeah, queen d5. I mean,
this hammer time. The first decisive result in this match. They've made 5 draws previously.
Yeah, I mean, it's over. Rook d6, d8. Just don't play the illegal move, and it's over. Yeah.
Congratulations to Juvan Jun. She's the Blitz champion.
Yeah, yeah.
Congratulations, great performance. And that leaves only one title up for the taking. Jan Nepomniachtchi, he will be playing white now. Do you think they will stick to the openings we've seen so far, or will they mix it up?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the deeper the match goes, the more likely it is to have a bunch of draws because there are only so many different surprises left. So it's like, in the case of Magnus with White, he's now played the London. He's played E4 a couple of games. I mean, I guess he could play the English, go back to what he played against Hans, but he's kind of running out of a lot of ideas. I feel like Jan also probably doesn't have a whole lot left. So, I mean, I think at this point, it's more going to be who's able, who just blunders. I think it's really going to come down to who gets sloppy and blunders. I
Do you
mean, it's
think?
actually, I was going to say, this
Mhm.
reminds me a bit of the match I played against Maxime Vachier-Lagrave in the London. It was part of the London Chess Classic, the Grand Chess Tour Finals, I think in 2018, if I remember correctly. And we played the match. It was also the similar format. And I think we were somewhere like in the 8th or 9th game. I think it was 4 games we were tied, and then we played, I think, 4 or 5 more games before there was a decisive one. And I think that the thing is, as the match gets deeper like this, sooner or later, it's just going to come down to who gets sloppy and blunders, nothing else. That's all it's going to come down to.
Do you think blunders will be caused by tiredness, by nerves? What do you think, or by just your opponent putting too much pressure?
Yeah,
Could
I
be
mean,
anything.
I think at this point, I mean, they both have to be pretty tired, but that's why I think the momentum. I mean, it's good that Jan's on the side where he came back because Magnus, for sure, the adrenaline, everything, he must have been like, okay, it's over. I have it won when he was up 2-0. So even if they're both tired, just the momentum has to be on Jan's side here. So we'll see, we'll see. But I kind of expect we're gonna get some kind of huge blunder. I don't know who's gonna make it, but I think we will get a blunder.
I see arbiters are adjusting the chairs. Do you think the players would like to just play ASAP, or they are happy for the breaks?
Oh, I think at this point they want the breaks for sure. I think at this point they want the breaks. Now when you're this far in at sudden death, you would like more time between games for sure.
What would you do in between games?
I mean, I think you want to just like sort of clear your head, and or maybe look at something very quickly, in terms of an opening idea. But I think right now it's we'll get a blunder. I think someone's going to make a double question mark move in the next game or two, and that's going to be the difference between who wins and who loses.
Does Jan have any world titles in Blitz and Rapid? No, or does...
I don't think so. No, I don't think he has any. I mean, he's obviously been, one of the great blitz players of our time. But of course, like everybody else, there's been this guy called Magnus who's stopped everybody from winning titles. So I think that, I mean, what I would say is that Nepo has great chances, but it's going to come down to who's sharper. That's all it's going to come down to here.
Hammer, what do you think? Will this game end decisively?
Yeah, maybe because I was not impressed with the opening that Jan chose for the first sudden death game with the white pieces, which was a replica. Oh, Magnus changes openings. I'm very surprised by that.
Interesting.
Bishop forward. What is this?
I mean, it's just a classic Gucci piano. The standard.
But normally
Probably.
you don't move your bishop first, right?
I mean, normally you don't, but it's all kind of the same thing. I mean, it's all pretty standard here. We get A4, Rook E1. I mean, yeah, this is all very, very boring.
Is that what Magnus is looking for? Boring?
I think he is probably. Yeah, we got this B3 knight F1. I mean, I'm not super familiar with this exact position, but this idea is fairly well known to play B3. I have a prediction.
Not to rip up bad memories, but this is what Anish played against you, right?
Something similar to this. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, the Anish game was, yeah. There's going to be some action in the center of the board. One of these guys is going to play D5 or D4, and I think this game will be decisive. I actually do believe that.
Which side of this would you rather play?
Objectively, I'd prefer to play black just because, I mean, it's, you have the fianchetto bishop on G7. You can play Queen D7 and Rook E8. I mean, it feels a touch easier to play for black. On the other hand, it's pretty dry though. Like no cap. Like we're getting into another situation where, I mean, both sides you're gonna get like queen d7, rook e2, rook e8, rook e1, and then what? And I still feel like white's a little bit better, but I don't know. We'll see.
Do
Maybe
you think
Magnus can go knight
Nepo should
d7.
trade? Do you think he should trade the bishop for the knight?
Maybe. I mean, I was wondering if Magnus can go knight d7, knight c5 here. That was actually one of my thoughts. Perhaps. Yeah, and he does
Okay.
it. Yeah.
No time to take the knight then.
Ooh, I don't know about I mean, okay, I guess. Okay, Nepo's gonna play rook d1. I mean, queen f6, queen c7, and you're just down materials. So rook d1, of course. b6 probably. I mean, it was f4. Not a big fan of f4, but maybe it makes sense. I mean, maybe he just understands the position better than me. But I guess actually f4 has some merit because if knight c5, there's always going to be some e5, right? There's going to be some e5 here, I think. Yeah, he does it instantly.
Magnus is down 30 seconds on the clock. Nepo has pawn to f5 next.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a situation where for Jan, it's zero risk, I feel. There's basically zero risk here. Only he can win. So he should be feeling very good about this. He's up like 40 seconds on the clock. No chance of losing if he doesn't do something insane. And that's pretty much the dream when you're playing Blitz. That is the dream for sure.
Next move, Jan is going to push this pawn up to try and open up in front of Magnus's king.
Yeah, it still looks fine. I mean, it still looks completely fine. Probably after queen d6, but yeah, f5, rook e1, maybe rook d8. Just like, I would probably go rook d8 here and chuck the pawn on a5, but I mean, maybe not. Yeah, he does it instantly.
That's a very big decision, no?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm wondering is, can white take the pawn? I mean, is there a reason you can't take on a5 here? Like, I mean, maybe you can't. There's probably gonna be some knight e4, maybe like queen d4 knight. No, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, I'm wondering why white can't take on a5 here, actually, now that I think about it. But probably you go check, king h1, queen d2, and then it's just equal, I'm guessing. Yeah, probably that's just a zero situation again.
You don't think white can do something with an extra pawn?
I mean, how, though? You're just going to go knight e6, knight d4.
Okay, that's a good...
But I still think you should go for it, because here, even if there's always knight f1, knight g3 to make a draw at the very least.
Okay, he did take the pawn.
Yeah. I think queen d2 might be an only move here, because if white's able to keep the queens on the board, your king is completely open on g8. This could be very dangerous. Very, very dangerous here.
I'm shocked that Magnus played rook d8 so quickly. Could he have forgotten about the pawn, or was this planned?
I think he assumed that there was enough counterplay. That's my guess. I think he probably assumed there was enough counterplay. He didn't calculate it deeply, but he assumed that it had to be fine, and so he played it. It's either that or he did just hang the pawn. It's one of the two. I don't know which one.
Magnus is now down by a full minute.
Yeah, I mean, it's still fine, but queen d2, I think, is... I mean, without queen d2... Ooh, he goes b6, okay.
Now there is knight e4, only good move.
And he finds it. Wow. Wow. That's some good stuff from Magnus. That is really, really good stuff. That is
the idea
really, really
is
good
that
stuff.
after takes, there's an attack on the rook, there's attack on the pawn, and the queen cannot be captured due to the back rank checkmate.
Yeah, that's phenomenal stuff to play that. I mean, this game is going to be a draw now. It's going to be a draw.
But the two, I mean, both of them have been very, very impressive in some crucial moments, no?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I haven't seen the whole match, but the last two games, like moves that Nepo found, I mean, finding, what was it? Was it queen d8 and then rook d2? Both those moves when he was down a minute on the clock were just like really, really good finds. And now Magnus in this game, I mean, spending his time finding b6 with knight e4, also really, really good. Yeah, we're gonna get queen f6, and this is gonna be a draw, I think, very soon. Maybe h3 just to create space, but queen f6 or h3, either way, this is all roads are leading to game number 7. Yeah, I don't really see a way this isn't a draw. I just don't see how.
This is already game number 7, by the way.
Oh, sorry. So we'll be heading to game number 8. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite the match. Now
Yeah,
that
I
you've...
mean,
I was going to say that now that we've seen some of this knockout format, do you warm a bit to it or not much? Not really?
I mean, I think that the result makes it look really good. But in general, I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, I guess the thing is like if you get the right pairing and if the final match is not a blowout, then everyone's be like, oh, it looks great, it's phenomenal, and all this other stuff. But to me, yeah, I still don't. It doesn't really change a whole lot in my opinion. Yeah, this is just dead. Queen e5 maybe. I mean, everything like. It's just a question of how do you make the draw. Yeah. Rook f7. Probably rook d7, and then we just move on. Yeah, expect rook d7, and we just okay, king h2, good enough. Queen
Nepo still
b4
has
maybe.
that time edge. It feels to me like Nepo is trying to keep the game going.
He's trying, but exactly how do you create a threat? He goes rook so he's trying to go over queen e5 and rook d8. Okay, he's trying. He's trying to confuse Magnus with rook d5. It's a very nice move. It's a very nice move to try and get Magnus to panic. It's not a move that you consider here. H4. G5. Yeah, I mean, still just a draw. Yeah, still just a complete draw. Probably b4 and a5. I mean, but you're never winning here because I mean it's a rook and pawn end game. I think. Although rook c4. Wait, rook c4. Wait, rook c4, rook a7. Yeah,
I was
rook
going to
c4
say,
is
is
almost
black
tricky.
better with the king in the middle?
I don't know what is king g1. Oh, I guess Nepo's going to try to bring his king closer or something. Yeah, now you have to take on c5. Or you play a5 maybe. Yeah. Yeah, rook a2, and I mean, what are you doing? Rook a2, king d3 maybe. Wait. Oh wait, but now there's c4.
Ooh, big move from Magnus. Can he go for the win?
And it's just a draw. King d5, it's just a draw.
Okay, Magnus cannot trade the
Almost.
rooks. That
He
would be a
almost tricked
losing.
him.
Trading the
Yeah.
rooks would be a losing pawn end game, but Magnus can just keep the rooks on the board.
He almost tricked you on there with c4. Almost. Very, very
Incredible.
close. Yeah. Yeah, so now we get what, number 8. I mean, again, the thing is now it looks like a great format because of this final match being so tight. But I think that's more by accident than anything else.
I
Well,
really thought actually that Hammer and I would be out of here before midnight our time, and that was what, like an hour and a half ago. I was like, we're not gonna broadcast true. I really thought there was no way, the way Magnus was playing, being up 2-0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
think
but that's the thing. Like, if he doesn't lose those 2 games, let's just say he draws the third game easily, then everyone's saying the exact opposite. You're saying, like, what a terrible
exactly.
format. It wasn't exciting at all. The whole thing stinks. Like, so, I mean, it's very match dependent in terms of whether it's good or not. I mean, the downside, of course, is that I generally don't think it's a good format, but now you're gonna have people like Satovsky acting like it's the greatest thing ever. So, that's the downside to it.
well, but there
so
are
be it.
pros and cons, right? So now we're seeing the pro of this format, and we saw the con with all the draws being made in the final round yesterday.
Mhm.
But to me, like, there are legitimate pros and cons to it, because you could have also had a really, really exciting final round yesterday and then a dud in the knockouts today. It could have gone either way.
Mhm.
To me, the biggest issue is the fact that you're having 100 people travel very, very far only to play for a day in the Blitz.
Yeah, I actually would I would agree. Yeah. Oh, what's going on?
Magnus
They had
wanted to
another
talk to the arbiter.
Yeah, he also talked to Jan. I was wondering if it was about break times between games, because Magnus was looking for someone to discuss something, but I'm just guessing, but I guess it has to do with time in between games. I'm not
Well, the
sure what
way
that-
to get over with Magnus would be to win.
Are they discussing, like, I don't understand. Are they discussing something here? Or are we like, is this suddenly poker?
They
Not
want
But
to share the prize, the title. Yeah, we don't allow that. This is not the Sinkfield Cup. I'm
I
still
mean,
upset about that.
I don't know what's going on. But I mean, you can't share first place. Like,
I mean, I was watching. It was Magnus who initiated the discussion, and I cannot see Magnus in a million years be like, okay, let's just split it.
yeah, I mean that seems so out of character for
Yeah,
Magus. You know, he's somebody who always wants to win at all costs.
yeah.
So I actually I don't understand. But it's also very bad to do this too, because now the problem is like if Nepo, because now also if they actually play and Nepo messes up or something, you're gonna be like, well, it was a psychological ploy on purpose by Magus to mess
But
up the
I
whole
don't
thing.
think that's what Magnus suggests. I would be shocked. I mean, all of us are just assuming, but
But
especially
what
Magnus
can you be
wants.
discussing then? What else can you be
Maybe
discussing
like
though?
how
Break
long
times.
should we start the next game, sooner or
I think
later?
Magnus likes to get in the flow. I think Magnus doesn't want the breaks.
Ah, you think it's about the breaks? Okay,
I think
maybe.
so.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, who knows
Then
what's going on?
Nepo should definitely just say, I want the opposite of whatever Magnus wants.
Right, exactly. Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, I mean maybe they're discussing that, but that doesn't make any sense. I don't think so. I mean, that'd be weird. But also for anyone who's asked about are the players allowed to use computers between rounds, I have no doubt that if they don't have direct access to phones or a computer, they almost certainly have someone who can give them information in between the games. Like, for example, they have a coach or somebody there who can help them
So,
out.
so who do you think? Because Heine is not in New York.
Yeah, but he's still
Uh,
available, I'm sure, over phone or something.
yeah, no, this is true. So you think he's calling his coach during
Sorry
the?
to interrupt. Magnus Carlsen suggested to Jan Nepomniachtchi to share the first place. Tweet by FIDE.
Really? But you can't do that. That's not chess. That's not chess. You can't do that. I
You
mean,
don't do
but
that.
I don't even understand. I now, I mean, like, it's like we haven't had enough nonsense of drama. Do we now we have to get this too? Like,
Wow, that is gonna get in Nepo's head, no?
I mean, that's why I mean, you can't do it. Because now it's lose-lose. Like if Jan doesn't agree and Jan loses the next game, everyone's gonna vilify Magus for doing something that you really aren't supposed to do. And if he does, everyone's gonna be mad too. I mean, it's bad. Yeah, the whole thing is bad. The whole
Do
thing
you
is
think?
bad.
Yeah, I
Do you
mean,
think
it,
there's any chance that FIDE would agree to this?
Well, I mean, but it's up to the player. I mean, who even
Of
gets to
course, it's not
decide?
up to the players. We have regulations. And no, it's not up to the. This is not the Sinkfield Cup, although Magnus is really trying. So, what I'm referring to is that in the Sinkfield Cup, one year, there were very clear regulations as to how a tiebreak was to be determined. And then the players went together and they just said, we're not going to play anymore. So, are you
Mhm.
saying that's essentially what could happen here? Magnus and Nepo says, no, we're on a strike?
I mean, I guess they could. They definitely could. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say. I think fundamentally you're right. I mean, what this is really doing, though, if I'm being honest, is like this in my opinion is making Magus look very bad. I think this makes Magus look very bad. I think also if FIDE goes along with this, I tend to agree that you end up in a situation where it's like you feel like Magus can pretty much do anything he wants with anything. And I don't think that's how it should be. So this is pretty bad, actually. This is pretty bad. Like I mean, yeah, I don't know what to
I,
say because it's really
I
really
don't
bad.
even I don't even understand people in chat going FIDE should not accept. What do you mean FIDE should not accept? This shouldn't even be a discussion. The arbiter should go there and he should show them the rules and he should say play until you have a winner.
Yeah, I mean, I of course I generally agree with what you're
And if they
saying.
go on a strike, you know,
Yeah,
forfeit both of them.
yeah,
Bring
I
back
mean,
Wesley and whoever Magnus
Duda,
beat.
yeah,
No, I don't like this.
yeah. I mean, I think I don't think it should happen. Like because it's just something where you have a winner. You're supposed to have a winner. Like I mean, I know they've drawn a bunch of games in a row, but I mean, the rules are there for a reason. Like the rules are there for a reason.
I am shocked as well that Magnus would suggest this himself. I mean, why would he even do it? Is he tired? Does he want to
I
have
mean, I think
another
he and
fight
Jan
with
used to be
another
buddies,
power
right?
play? Huh?
Him and Jan used to be buddies. So maybe he just wants to give Jan a world championship title. And he feels like Jan is just as likely to win this at this point as he is.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what this is. I really have no words. I mean,
Do you think it could be a power play?
I mean, having known Magus, I just don't believe that it could be. But again, there's no upside here, because basically, if somehow an agreement is reached and they share first place, everyone's going to be upset. If they don't and Magus wins the next game, everyone's going to be even more angry probably at Magus, thinking that he did this on purpose to screw around with Nepo. So like, this is just this you know, it's like we didn't already have enough nonsense. Now we have this. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's so bad. So bad.
I mean,
I
if FIDE was concerned about the time dragging out for the closing ceremony and whatnot, they could have just said, we're going to play without breaks. They've been playing with 10-minute breaks for no
or keep
reason for the whole
Armageddon
day.
or keep
Yeah.
Armageddon in the regulations.
Yeah, I
Also.
mean, yeah, I mean, it's so bad though. It's just so bad. It's so this is so bad. I mean, like, just when you think just when you think there can't be any more nonsense, now we have to have this. Yes. Yeah,
I
we're gonna get the 2 a.m. phone call to Dvorkovich, right? The
It's
2 a.m.
3 a.m. in Russia, I think.
Yeah, but he's probably celebrating. It's New Year's Eve, so he should be awake. But yeah, this is really bad. This is really bad. I don't think there's any. I mean, there's no good answer. No, I mean, if I
can't
were, I
believe
mean,
this is
actually,
even happening.
just to answer, if I were in Jan's shoes here, it's impossible, because Jan is basically put in a situation where I mean, he kind of has to agree to it. That's the problem. Like, he kind of has to agree to it here in his situation.
No, but the
Because
problem is he doesn't have a say, right?
The
problem is now he's tempted to doing it, but he's going to be told by the arbiter that, no, we have rules in play.
And then Max is going to say, fudge you, I don't care, right?
Well,
Again,
and then Nepo is going to be the world champion.
I mean, this is just this is so bad. Yeah, this is. But what I was starting to say, like, the problem is also Magnus is doing this before a white game, not before a black game. So he's doing it before a game where he objectively is a slight favorite too. So now it's like, if you're Nepo, what are you supposed to do? Because the odds of Magnus winning with white are far higher than Nepo winning with black. So there's no good answer. There's no good answer.
I also just don't see how they now suddenly come back and play another game. I mean, this is
right, because now you're going to get a 30-minute break or something too. Like,
yeah, how is the main chief arbiter, who made himself famous for very strictly following the rules, how is he even entertaining this thought?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this is
no, but also I want to say to everyone in chat who's like, oh, now Hammer wants to follow the rules. I like to see chess decided on the board, which is why I don't like people getting disqualified for wearing jeans, but which is also why I don't like people just saying, oh, we're gonna have 2 world champions. Just decide on the board. I'm actually being rather reasonable. And I like to think I'm being consistent in my views.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I mean, it's one thing to talk about the dress code. It's quite another thing to talk about the actual, like, rules of the tournament, like the actual game rules. I mean, but there's no happy ending to this. There's really no happy ending, because the only way that I see this ending well, assuming, is like, there are 3 options. Either, FIDE, there's an agreement on this, they share first place, and everyone's very angry about it. Or Magnus comes back, wins a great game with white, everyone the situation, or Nepo wins. And then everyone's probably happy overall, I think. But there's only 1 out of the 3 situations where you don't have massive chaos and drama, and it's the least likely of the 3. So, I mean, yeah, I really don't know what to say. I mean, this is just This is so bad, though, in my opinion. I just like, I guess it's a good thing I came back. Or maybe it's not. I don't know.
I
But
mean, I was just thinking about Sutovsky just when he was probably patting himself on the back of what a great success this knockout was.
yeah. No, but I mean, what are you going to do when if Magnus and Jan are like, well, we've been waiting 30 minutes now, this is happening, we're just not going to show up and play. Like, what do you do? Also, as
Bring
someone points
back
out,
Wesley and Duda, I say.
as someone points out, there's also, to make matters even worse, there's a betting market on this, right? There's Poly Market. As someone said, Poly Market has betting on this, which they probably do. So not only do you have this, but then you have this spillover, which is a complete disaster too. So
Well, the bets are just voided, no?
are they? I mean, are they? Maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, this is really bad. Really, really bad.
I
In
have
my opinion,
to
this is significantly worse than the jeans thing. I mean,
I
this
have
is so much worse.
I have the FIDE broadcast open on mute, but Jan is somewhere in the back room waiting around. I don't know if anything has been
I don't get why
decided.
this thought is even being entertained.
But I mean, but they're not going to come back and play. You're not going to come back after 30 minutes because also now, I mean, this is the problem. If Jan's sitting in the background, he's probably going to go and literally study for 30 minutes. So now you've ruined. Now everything's gotten ruined this way too. I mean, there's not now. What can you do? Now it's just everything's messed up. Everything's completely messed up now.
I disagree with you about the studying, but I think it's about the adrenaline.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, maybe yeah.
they
I mean,
lose all their adrenaline.
Yeah, you're probably right about actually studying, but still, it gives you 10 minutes to review something and then just kind of like chill and try to try to just calm down. I mean, yeah, you're right. The adrenaline's going to be gone. I mean, like it's just yeah.
I have to say
Wow,
I'm
they're
shocked
actually
that
sharing it.
they're sharing it.
Oh man.
I mean, this is ridiculous. Like this is just ridiculous. I really have. I mean, like
Wow.
this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I really don't know what to say. Like, this is just like this is insane, actually. Like, I mean, this is so much worse to me than the whole Janes thing. This I just don't understand at all.
But also, they had only played 3 games. It's not like they had played 10 games and they couldn't
right.
find a winner.
Yeah. I mean, you can make some argument if they had drawn like 6 or 8 games in the actual after the 4 original games. Like, then you'd be like, okay, this is too much and everything else. But now it's like, I mean, they played 4 and then three Blitz games. Yeah, this. I mean, this is just not okay. This is not okay. This is just not okay. Like, this is not okay. Because we also know, honestly, if anyone else did this, it would not happen. It would not be allowed. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is very, very bad for chess overall. I really have yeah, I've got like nothing to say. The jeans thing I understood, but this is just absurd. This is just not okay.
I think it's making a mockery of the whole thing, the whole event. I mean, this is okay. Magnus with the jeans, okay, he got his, he got his wish, but now it's literally Magnus clearly can do absolutely whatever he wants, which
Yeah, I mean, like I don't understand this at all. I don't understand this. Like I mean, I'm just I feel like I should try to pull some stunt next time I play a tournament. I really do. I feel like next time I play a tournament, like the moment that I draw a game or before I play West, I'd be like, let's just not play. Like like I don't know. I don't think this is acceptable. I don't.
Hikaru, were you among the players who shared first place at Sinkfield?
No, I was
that
not.
year?
I was not. I was not.
Who were the players then?
Do I remember? It was Was it Magnus, Levon, and
It was
Fabiano?
Magnus, Levon, and Fabi.
It was.
But I think
okay.
there were more.
I don't remember. Maybe there were, but yeah, I mean, what I would say is this is just yeah, like also it's like this also like not to, I mean, this is not like I'm being salty because obviously it's many years ago now, but then it's like in 2019, like, do I really believe that if I had, in my tiebreaker against Magnus, we draw the 2 games, that he would have like suddenly offered me a chop for first place? I mean, I don't believe for a second he would have then. So why is he suddenly doing this now? Like I just don't get it. I literally don't get it. If this is what we have, if this is what we have, then why then why wasn't there a 9-way tie for first place? Why don't we give first place to Daniel Naroditsky and everybody else too? Like I mean this is just not okay.
I think it's bad form by Magnus to suggest it because it fucks with Nepo's head, but
Hmm.
it's unbelievable to actually
Hmm.
go along with it from the World Chess Federation.
I mean the jeans thing, I was 100% on Magnus's side. But on this one, like I mean like what even is the point? What even is the point? If Magnus can do anything he wants on anything, like why are there any rules at all? I mean, why? Like literally, why are there any rules at all? Um, like it's just yeah. I'm just I don't even understand. I mean, this is one of those times when there's gonna be no glazing here with Magnus
I
for
just don't
me.
understand how they went along with this.
Well, I mean, the thing is, what are you gonna do when one player has this much power? I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? If Magus says he's not gonna play, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna go and like give it to Nepo suddenly, and then you're gonna have 20 headlines at least around the world where everyone's like, world champion or best player disqualified, because of something or rather. Like
Because he
it's
refused to play.
right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This is just insane. There's
I
there's
mean,
this is
if
not
someone
okay.
had said, no, you got to play on, that's the regulations, don't you think Magnus would play on?
I mean, I would think so, but they probably don't want. They already played a game of poker once in this event. It didn't go their way. It didn't work out the way they thought it would. So I mean, maybe they weren't ready for the second game of no limit, second round of no limit
I
hold'em.
think we put up some tweets by Hans now, but Hans has a tendency of speaking in caps and locks as you as normally. But I think
Hmm.
one of the more interesting things going on Twitter right now is that people who are very, very sensible and who rarely go to the extremes
Hmm.
are understandably furious. On my timeline right now, I saw Josefina Heinemann tweet, and this is why we're not taken seriously as a sport. And she is not one to go with the big headlines. So more so than the players who always are very opinionated, like myself, like Hans and others. This is causing waves way beyond that and into the reasonable, sane people of chess, of which there are not that many.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, I don't know what to say. Like this is just very yeah, this is very very bad. Actually, no, a good example someone just made. I saw Shaydock, one of the mods, write this. This reminds me of you guys. Probably I don't know if you guys follow tennis closely or not, but back in I think it was like 2017 or something. There was this epic match between Federer and Roddick, which I think Federer won something like 18-16 in the fifth set. And this is kind of what it reminds me of. It's like when that fifth set started, they got 6-6. I was like, oh man, it's gonna be long. Then at like 10-10, you're like, oh. Then at like 14, you're like, is this ever gonna end? And this is what this feels like. Is like it's kind of at like 8-8 in the fifth set or something, and you're like, okay, you know what? Let's just call it a day. We don't need to keep going. Yeah, I just this is something that is just not okay in my
They
book. This is
barely
not okay.
started. They only played 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, come on, chess. If you're, I mean, it's one thing with rules, things that don't have anything to do with the actual game being played, but this is just like I just cannot. I cannot really be okay with this. I can't. Even
I
as
think
much as I
it's
respect Magnus, this is not. This
it's a
is not okay.
mockery. I think
Yeah.
the fans are disappointed. I saw someone in the chat make a point that as a player in the tournament I
Hmm.
would be outraged as well. I mean, the whole thing is it's just a mockery
Well, I mean, it's
of
like,
our
well,
game and of the
I mean,
tournament.
it's like, why didn't Magnus go and say yesterday when it's a 9-way tie or 10-way tie or whatever it was? He's like, you know what? It's fine. Let's just call it a day. We don't need to play anymore. I mean, that's what this feels like. Yeah, I really, I don't know what to say. I actually don't know what to say. This is not. This is not okay, in my opinion. This is not okay.
Kasper Piorun, a Polish grandmaster, is suggesting on Twitter that they could have just done a coin toss.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, exactly. Just flip a coin. Exactly, flip a coin. Yeah, I mean, this is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. But this is not this is not okay. This is not okay. I mean, this like I'm gonna be honest, as someone who knows quite a few people in the business world, someone who deals a lot with things outside of chess specifically these days. I'm hard pressed to think of people that I know who would be interested in sponsoring chess. Thinking, why are we going to sponsor events? When you see the whole jeans issue, you see that which was I honestly think was very unprofessional from FIDE. And now you see a situation where sure it's been a long day, but you have the rules where you play it out, and then it's just okay. Let's just stop and call it like. I mean, to use another sports example, it's like playing like Game 7 in like the World Series or Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Finals, and you play one overtime. You're like, nah, we played one overtime. Let's just call it a tie. We don't need to keep going. Or extra innings in baseball. Like it's just, I don't. Yeah, I don't get this. I don't get this. I don't think this is okay. I don't think this is okay. Period. 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 Period.
Yeah, I
This
think
was
all
not
of
this was not
us.
super deep. This was not like 8 games of 8 games of sudden death. This was 3 games. This
Mm.
was 3 games of sudden death, and I mean there's no way you can look at this and be like it's a good thing. Just let them be happy. I mean it's just this is quite a bit further for everybody who's in chat. I mean this is quite a bit further than the other things, and I just like yeah I can't I can't understand this at all.
Yeah, I think it's a sad day for chess, in a way. I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
is it's embarrassing. It's sad that it had to come to this. We haven't heard, of course, from the main actors in this, but it's hard to imagine that there would be any
Yeah, I mean,
communication
I
here.
think, I think what it appears to me at least, it feels like, I mean, I don't know, maybe FIDE is that afraid of Magnus that they'll literally do anything he says. But, I mean, this is not about genes or something like that. This is about the actual game that's being played and the actual format that the players were aware of before the event began. Um, so like this is not some small thing. This is about the actual chess itself. And I can't yeah, this is something that I can't really agree with. I can't. And I also, as someone points out, like I don't think it's calculated in the way that the way that it's I don't think it's calculated like Magnus thing. I'm gonna do this and like harm FIDE or something like that. Um but still, it's just I mean Henrik Carlson giving an interview and saying he's satisfied. I mean, there are rules. Like there are rules. Like I mean, like if this is the case, what like why is Magnus suddenly doing this now? Why didn't he do this in 2019 when we had when I had my tiebreaker with him? Or any number of tiebreakers he's had you know, like over the last couple of last like decade or so. I mean, why didn't Magnus and Fabiano agree to a draw in the World Championship match after they drew 12 classical games? Like it's just there's no world where this is okay. It just isn't okay, period. Um so yeah. Yeah, it's not okay. But anyway, enough said. I guess it's over. So we should probably sign off so I can go do my recap before I go eat a nice dinner and call it. So perhaps we should just stop right there.
Let's stop there. I think all three of us have a very bitter taste in our mouth. I mean, it's sad day for chess. This is not how any of us wanted this to end. But Hikaru, thank you for joining us. Enjoy your last days in New York and all the best for
Yeah, for
the
everybody
year.
who's watching, I'll do my recap and I'll give some pointed opinions. And we'll go from there. But that's going to do it for us. So hope you guys enjoyed the last year of 2024. Those of you guys where it's already New Year's, like Jan, Ludwig, and Fiona, hope you guys enjoy 2025. And for those of us still in 2024, stay tuned for my recap, which will be coming out pretty soon. And I'll see everybody on the other side of the calendar as we begin another year going around the sun. So I'll see you guys. Hope you enjoy it. Have a good one.
Bye, Hikaru.
Bye.
Bye.